Hey, what's up? Well, I want to get that light off of my face so that's not directly on my face, but it's shining at my face. And so, I don't know how long I'm going to have to make this video, but I better make it quick because I'm running out of time. My dad just kind of slipped away. So, what I want to talk about in this video, and apologize for the poor quality of my last video about these little guys that came in, the little rascals, boys. And, I just wanted to just quickly make a video, before I cut my hair soon, hopefully soon, about how, just more of the same about how, that's why I like to collect such dolls, because I feel like they are special and unique, for being young boys. I mean, normally most dolls are going to be female for obvious reasons, and what few that are going to be male, it's usually an adult with lots of muscles. So, anyway, what I want to talk about, I want to just continue on. I want to talk about something real quick. I don't know how much time I'll have to delve into it, but I want to title this video Our Gemini President, because that is my zodiac. And while it may not be very obvious, I like stars and the moon and all that, but astrology is very important to me in the extent that I may not know very much about it, but even if, I completely hated Donald Trump, hated everything about him, the fact that his birthday is literally 5 days before mine, like, oh my gosh, yeah, 5 days later, 5 days after his birthday, I was born. And so that in and of itself, and George Bush Sr. also had a birthday that was about exactly 1 week before mine. So yeah, you pretty much know my birthday being Juneteenth. So the fact that Trump is a Gemini, and just that in and of itself is very important to me. And I just wanted to talk some more about how, the truth is not subjective. The root of everything that makes me angry in this world is that some people believe that the truth is subjective rather than objective, which, it's hard to put into words what I was trying to say. But, some people just believe that the truth is whatever you want it to be or whatever you can accept. And if you cannot accept something, then you simply just don't believe it and it won't be true. Kind of like that proverbial, tree falling in the forest, to put it nicely. The tree that falls in the forest and doesn't make a sound because no one is there to hear it. So, I just, I believe in the truth, and I believe that it is objective. It's not subjective. It's not whatever you want it to be. The fact that my mom didn't want to accept how many colds we were getting in a year's time. She wanted to pretend like the ones in the warmer months were allergies or sinus problems, which she was incorrectly using the word sinusitis. Sinusitis is an infection that you get from already having a cold. But trying to say that there were sinus problems or allergies, just to save face by not admitting that her precious little non-daycare kids that she kept out of daycare to keep us from ever getting sick when we were little, which didn't always work. There's a train, and it certainly didn't work for my little sister because there were a few colds, that I brought home. Not as many as she would bring home for me later. But with me, it didn't completely work because we had neighbors that went to daycare, and some of my cousins went to school, the older ones. I only have 3 older cousins. No cousins on my dad's side because he's an only child. So, it didn't always work. Would always occasionally get a cold when we were little. Or hear that train. But it just wasn't enough. That train is amazing. Wasn't enough to build our immunity, And so, to save face by not admitting that we had as many colds as we really had, which, like I said, the proof is in the mere fact that I'm not still getting them today. If there were just sinus problems or allergies, I would still have them to this day. Every August and every springtime, I would still have the same issues, which I absolutely don't. And because I know that allergies and sinus problems do not cause a lot of the symptoms that we had, such as fever and malaise and thick snot and phlegm coughs, that last for exactly 1 week and then just vanish without a trace. Hoarseness, that doesn't happen with allergies. So anyway, just one of the many things, the many things that I'm angry about in this life is about people that just do not accept certain truths, various truths, that just really don't align with what some people want to believe. And so they just reject the truth and they think that they can just make the truth whatever they want it to be, And trans people are just one example, one ridiculous, outlandish example of that, believing that if they want to be the opposite sex, then, they just tell everybody that they are and sort of conform their physical body to whatever extent possible to that fantasy, and that it will be the truth. It'll be all one and the same, as if 2 + 2 were 5 instead of 4 in their mind. But I don't agree with that. I believe that there is a truth. I believe that there is a God. I believe that God does hear the tree falling in the forest that doesn't make a sound. And, because it just couldn't be more plainly obvious, the symbolism. The Republican Party is red like the blood of Christ, because it's not so much that Donald Trump is this wonderful person, he's a sinner, just like everybody else. But yeah, he's on the side of the truth is what I mean, so it's symbolic, it's like the blood of Christ, red, Republican Party, and an elephant is an animal with a really long memory, bigger brain than a human. And the Democrats couldn't be more symbolic or perfectly. Their mascot is a literal dumbass, a literal donkey. That's what an ass is, a donkey. And so you're literally a dumbass if you vote Democrat. And so their symbol is a donkey, a dumbass. And their color is blue, which symbolizes them thinking that the sky's the limit as to what the truth can be. Whatever you want to believe is what can be your truth in their mind. And also, it's symbolic of the forbidden fruit of male privilege, I guess from the male perspective, this doesn't make sense, but blue, it represents wanting to be a boy in my mind. Women thinking they can be men, just by calling themselves men and wearing blue and short hair. And, so it's like, it's the stupid party, the filthy dreamers, which, the word dreamer is very appropriate too, because the Bible calls them filthy dreamers. And it's the party of depravity. It's the party, that aligns itself with sodomy and with killing babies, abortion. I may not want to have any, but I still recognize that it's wrong, wouldn't want to have to go through that, which is why I've never dated a guy in my life, never participated in hookup culture. So at least I recognize that it's wrong, even if I don't like the thought of raising a child. So yeah, it's like, the way they've aligned themselves, with everything that's wrong, sexual immorality, depravity, homosexuality, killing babies, even pedophilia now, transing kids, sexualizing kids, teaching them about things that are inappropriate for their age. So yeah, it's like now you see, once upon a time, it's just the party of the poor man, the party of the working class, kind of like the closest we had to American communism. And the Republicans just, were the party, the elephant represents a long memory of how things used to be and wanting to keep things the way that they were. And so somehow or another it flipped and it became the party of everything that's wrong in this world. Black women that think that they are all one and the same as white men. Well, on November whatever it was, I can't even remember anymore. Well, I do remember. So like, yeah, was it the 5th? Oh yeah. So I cast a vote for the truth, not so much Donald Trump. But you could take off MP and put TH, and that's basically what I was voting for, the truth. And another Gemini president.